But we'll just start talking, and then we'll keep it going from there.
Just start with what you were saying right before we went live.
Okay, this is what I said. And this is my one thing. I said Meta's fucked, and Carlos was like, well, Meta Quest 3's. I said, wait a second, do you have to hold something to operate the Quest 3? You have some stupid controllers? They said yes. I said Meta's fucked because Apple, there's no controllers. You just got to finger around a little bit.
You're like this, dude. Right. Porn's. I mean, just imagine that with porn. Like, Vitaly's going to love it.
Rango, what were your raw thoughts when you saw the conference?
First thoughts was, I hope they make Siri better if they're like relying on voice. Like, I really hope they make Siri better. Like, because can
you say that again?
used it.
You hope that they make what?
Siri.
Oh, Siri. Yeah, Siri is gross.
Because they're relying on voice a lot. Like, generally speaking, to like navigate inside the app. So I hope they make that better. That was my first thought when it was there.
I have a tweet to show you guys. That's related to that. I've been pulling some links of some funny stuff. I made like a little folder on Twitter of some things that I've been seeing. But there was
you guys notice anything different with my shirt?
You're actually looking a little buff. You've been doing some push-ups, bro. Come on, be honest. You've been pushing.
No, this shirt. I'm wearing the shirt inside out because I forgot how to wear shirts apparently today. So, thank you everybody for being here. We got a lot to get into. Chris, hello, sir.
Here, Amit, I'm sending you. Here, pull up this tweet.
Okay, I'll pull it up. So Rango was just saying he hopes Apple makes Siri more advanced, and this is a tweet Carlos said. There will be, this is a new Apple job listing is seeking those interested in conversational and generative AI. Interesting.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
So this was in a thread that I was reading about trying to incorporate a chat GPT type text or voice interface using the headset. So you can like basically create like a virtual assistant that'll appear in 3D and you can talk to that person in natural language.
Yeah.
I guess would be Siri. I just hope she's hot.
What were some other things you felt, Rango, as your
I mean, like it was not really a surprise. We kind of knew almost all of it, but like I mean, the price was like I thought they'll do the iPad thing a little bit, like they price it a little under, but they went for it $3,500 on the higher side. But it's always Apple is always like they always make it seem like it's like out of reach, and then
it's out of reach.
But
you know what?
They kind of buy it, buy into it.
Somebody reminded me of the fact that the original iPad, when it was announced at $999, and people went in an uproar and they said, "I'm not paying for that. It's basically a giant iPhone." And then 6 months later, Steve Jobs was like, "I'm just kidding. It's $500." And even if they announced it at $500, people would have complained. But because it was announced at $1,000 and then seemingly was at half the discount, nobody complained. So it's quite possible that this could get it to $29.99. Because the other thing is, he said it starts at $35.
And they named it Pro. So
that's true.
That's true. So then they could be like the Vision SE, Vision SE version. Can we just say, like, of all the things, the name of that device was the worst? It's the
what? I thought the name was legit. I thought it was such a good name.
Sorry.
Vision Pro. That shit. What did you want them to call it?
I don't know. I thought they would have come up with something more clever.
Like Quest sounds like a nutrition bar, bro.
I think but I think the Quest gives it a personality. The Quest is a name that gives the device a personality. It's called like they could have just called it the Goggles Pro.
You saw how hard they tried to stay away from VR and metaverse. Yes. It was not
AI. They didn't even know.
Not even mentioned.
Nothing AI. I don't know. I thought it would have been funny if they would have done like the little lowercase I and called it the II. Like that'd have been kind of funny.
That would have been the iVerse.
The iVerse. No.
Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about. So I want to segment the discussion because obviously there's a ton going on. I think we'll start first with this. We'll go around the panel.
iVision. That's good.
Let's start it off with
Quest.
What'd you say, Vitaly?
The iQuest. That would have been amazing.
Oh, that would have been
funny.
Sorry, we own that, and we also did the hand tracking thing.
Okay, because we got a lot of people on the panel, I'm going to do this. How about everyone gets 2 minutes on just raw thoughts, and then we'll get into pricing, then we'll get into implications, we'll get into Unity, all that stuff. So
before you do, can you just bring up Starbuccaneers nailed the name of it? He nailed it.
Glasses.
That's the name. That
eyeglasses.
I thought Google had something called Glass, right? Glasses.
Google Glass. Yeah, I guess
Google Glass. Yeah.
I guess they did.
Okay, so I'm gonna give everyone 2 minutes, and then we'll get into more organic discussion just to get your raw thoughts. VITALY, your 2 minutes is up, and then I'm gonna stop you at 2 minutes. So we got a lot to talk about. 2 minutes or your raw thoughts. Go ahead.
Unlike Chris, I know how to keep it to 2 minutes. Oh,
I knew he was gonna. I was almost gonna.
I wasted 30 seconds on that.
He's like,
you're
I
8
took the
seconds
rest
in.
of my
Go
time.
ahead.
That was worth it. Honestly, look, the device, obviously stellar technology. I have nothing against that. In fact, Apple is a great company. They're going to do well no matter what. This has nothing to do with them doing well. But I think they missed expanding this whole ecosystem completely because they're going after, once again, they're going after the tippy top of the market. And I think I pointed out in our WhatsApp thread that I think they're going after Microsoft. And can I just bring up here? Let me share this to share exactly the prices that Microsoft sells their HoloLens at. HoloLens pricing. There you go. I'm going to share it. You guys see it?
FaceTime. They call it. I'm definitely not watching porn.
You guys see this?
Yeah.
So HoloLens starts at 3,500, and also this Vision Pro Quest starts at $3,500. Starts, which means that it looks like they're doing this industrial. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going after Microsoft. They want to kill this player before they eventually go to Meta because they want the top end of the market. Then they're going to get the bottom end. So I still think that's the plan. It's just that I feel like they missed the point of expanding the whole. You can stop the share. They missed the whole point of expanding the metaverse, VR, whatever, virtual reality, all of this stuff, and make it for the masses, which I think a lot of people do want. We want this competitor to compete. And now I don't know who they're getting to actually develop. This is going to be interesting to watch, but I think the developers are clearly going to stay with Meta because it's the consumer level device, which I didn't want. I actually want this ecosystem to get bigger because how do I win in Meta? I don't win if Meta's alone. I need other players. I need Google. I need Apple. I need all of them to expand the market for everybody, just like Apple did with the iPhone. Same thing. As soon as they can do that, then I think we all win more. I don't think Meta can succeed until Apple actually succeeds in this.
Okay, perfect. Right on time. Carlos, your 2 minutes. Go ahead.
I mean, no surprise. I agree with some of what VITALY said, but I disagree with a good bit of it. I think
no, don't give me the disagreements yet because we're gonna have a full debate later. Just give me your raw thoughts from the prompt.
Raw thoughts on it. I think once people get past the sticker shock, they'll realize exactly what happened today. I think Apple introduced the metaverse that Mark Zuckerberg has been trying to do for several years. I think they look, Mark's been trying to get people to live in like a horizon worlds where you buy property and for billions of Bitcoin and live in this. Apple has created VR in a space that is in the world that we already live in. I think the 2-hour battery life is actually on purpose to limit people from being in this. They want people to live in the real world, and it's a sign that they don't have to monetize people's attention. They can get their money is not coming from monetizing you and keeping you in it. I think the technology is absolutely insane. It's light years beyond what Meta is doing, and I think it solidifies what Meta's device is. The Quest is a gaming device. That is what it is. It is nothing more than a gaming device. The fact that it has controllers, I mean, that, like we said it before we went live, that's it right there. It is not meant. You're not going to see Quests on a plane. You're going to see tons of these Apple devices on the plane. And I think they are going for the high-end market. Who they're going for now is the people that are already in the Apple ecosystem. This is what they did with the iPhones. This is what they did with whatever. And just like people said, they'd never pay $1,000 for an iPhone. They didn't want wireless headphones. They didn't want an iPad because it was a giant iPhone. I think we're going to just see every one of these people get in line. And 2 years from now, all these people that are naysayers are just going to pretend like they never said what they're saying. This was an absolute monumental move by Apple. And I think we've seen the next S-curve begin.
Okay, Rango, your 2 minutes. Go ahead.
As a product, I mean, it's still not prime time. It's 2-hour battery. It's still not prime time. But as an engineering feat, like the stuff they have done, like, it's pretty incredible. The one important thing they've solved, which Meta hasn't able to solve, and it's harder than it looks, actually. Like, the reason people don't use VR glasses is because people get it's hard to wear it for a long time. Apple actually has, if you notice their chips, it's like there's an R1 chip and there's like an M2 chip. So this was actually a huge focus in terms of what they've solved. Like it refreshes faster than like 12 milliseconds. You can take all it reconstructs your surroundings in 12 milliseconds. All right. So like such low latency, you can play like ping pong. You can lead an everyday life without latency. That's the reason people feel like pukey and all that stuff. When they are using the MetaQuest or any VR glasses, is because of the higher latency from the real world. And Apple has managed to solve that. And I don't see anybody discussing that. I think that's very monumental, and that's very important to actually like go to mass market. And obviously you need to reduce the price overall, and that will happen. And I want to go in depth to it. This is like, according to me, like the overall thoughts, like, and what is the most important thing you've solved.
Okay, and we'll explore a lot of those later. Tam Tran, thank you for the $10 super chat again. Me and my brother Tony TT, the best for on YouTube, authentic. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat. Means the world, man. Chris, your 2 minutes. Go ahead.
You're muted, Chris.
You're muted. You're wasting your 2 minutes, Chris.
I think this was just a trial run for them to see where they need to iterate. They're going to create the best product, put a really high price on it, so the least amount of people have it, but the people that do have it are going to be evangelists for this product, and then you'll be able to learn a lot. This is not a mass market product. Typically, when you introduce a product into the world, you're not trying to go for the jugular as some people would want. You know, you want to build upon it. So if you think about the Apple Watch, the first time it came out, a lot of people said, wait, what? This is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to pay like $300, $400 for like a small thing that doesn't. But as time went on, the functionality started to build on itself. People became more acceptable of the pricing that Apple was charging. So I think it's a very similar thing. The original production goals, I think, were like scaled back significantly to only 100,000 units, which will probably be sold out in a very short period of time. And, you know, I think people like Marquez Brownlee and everything else will be able to review these things, get people interested in it, and probably pretty much elevate the quality of VR experience for just everybody. And I think in 5 years from now, you know, we'll be a lot more accepting of a product like this. And hopefully by then the pricing is going to be somewhat more affordable. So the best way I could describe this is like Tesla. When Tesla, the first Roadster came out, it was only for the rich, you know, but it let Tesla build upon the ecosystem and say, okay, now we can push down market every time they iterated on a new product. So.
Can you highlight Douglas's comment just now? He's so right. This was one of my points. This is going to go to the athletes and celebs, just like Beats. Apple is going to leverage their unbelievably deep relationships with celebrities, with musicians, with venues. Like, can you imagine when they offer exclusive VR experience, like a front row seat at the Olympics for like a small price, like a passport using just the Apple device, or they give you front row seats at a concert to like a mega celebrity. They're just going to do things with it that Meta is not going to be able to do because they don't have those relationships and they don't have their foothold in things like music and
So let's
concerts.
transition.
I should say that this shows your lack of understanding. You've not
Okay, hold on.
following it.
Let me set it up. Then we'll start it.
No,
What
they've been
are the
doing. They've
implica-
actually been doing what he's saying.
Hold on. What are the implications for Meta based on this new announcement? We'll start with V. We'll get the bear side, and then or the bull side for Meta, and then we'll get to go ahead.
Perma.
on the perma bear.
Well, you're bearish on Apple doing this. So.
I'm not actually bearish on Apple.
You have to be bearish on Apple if you're long Meta doing this.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
that's not true. That's not true. That is not true. I use Apple products. I'm on an Apple laptop right now. Okay, I have Apple computers. I built.
Right, and those
by the way,
MetaQuests behind you haven't moved in 6 months.
That's true. That's
I
true.
don't know why you keep
Those
saying.
dorky
Do you
ass
watch me at my
controllers now.
home? I don't even know. I'm playing tennis.
It's right behind your head right now.
No, I understand. We have to charge there. That's the charging down.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.